I want to live in the spirit world.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Iroh's back!
And then not General Iroh, the other Iroh. Yeah, boy, they really like that name, don't they? And they like various voice actors playing Iroh.
I'm sorry, I just gotta do it again. Squeak!
So, yeah. God, that was... I want to live in the spirit world. It's just so... I love the way...
Yeah, where was this Korra all along?
Yeah,
This past 3 episodes have been more interesting than all of the episodes we had leading up to it.
Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument that because, we spent so much time in, the sort of dark, harsh, real world, that when you go into the spirit world, it is much more welcoming and, it feels so warm, but I don't know.
We already did that in season 1.
You didn't really go in the spirit world in season 1, though.
No, but I mean, you could have watched season 1 and been like, okay, the world's kind of dark.
Correct, or maybe like I said, maybe even sort of, with that first, with the backstory of the first Avatar, I mean, again, you could have spread that out a bit, get a little bit more balance. It still will work when we go in the spirit world here. So I'm 90% sure, I haven't checked the credits, but I'm almost 90% sure that's TMS animation, which is like one of my favorite animation companies.
It sure looked like it to me.
Oh God, was
about 5 minutes in, I was like, did we switch animation?
Yeah, no, it's, I adore that company. I think they do such good work, and man, what a perfect episode to bring them in on.
Oh, the ending with that CGI transition from Korra to the tree with Klaatu, Vaatu, Nikto.
Yeah, whatever it's called. I love the way this world works. I love how something can be near and far and you can bring it closer. It runs solely on emotion.
And remember, if you look for darkness, you will find it.
Was that what he said?
Something like that.
Okay.
It was like he had some line about like, you bring what... It's like Lothlorien. You're bringing what you bring with you. So if you bring darkness, if you look for darkness, you're gonna get darkness.
Well, and I like worlds like that, and I like sort of realities and ideas like that, because I think there is so much truth to that in our reality too. That so much of what you have to put up with is what you carry with you, and so I like that when she. Well, I like the fact she transforms into a child. I thought that was really cool. Again, just gives an idea how this world works.
Yeah, when Howl's moving castle there for like a minute, like kind of like transforms. He's like younger self, and then. She restores part of herself.
I really like that.
I did too. For a second I thought, oh, this could be insufferable, but I'm like, okay, no, I actually did it right. It's okay.
Yeah, and I like that she had to resort back to this. I mean, and that is the truth of the character. She's very emotionally simple and frustrated, so it makes sense that in this world she would be, transformed into a child, so has to grow up, for lack of a better term. I guess in some ways you could say it's kind of insulting for the character, because a lot of people have been saying that anyway, but it still works because it's still addressing these very simple truths that even so many adults don't get. So I think it's still very powerful when you have to hear...
Well, it's a giant metaphor. I mean, I laugh when it's just like, I have, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And, you just look scared. And I was like, I'm gonna try that with a Bengal tiger. Like, I'm just gonna walk up to, I'm gonna hop in a cage and zoom.
But you know the idea.
But it's a metaphor, so it works. Yeah. But I always laugh at that because I was like, I'm just waiting for her to walk up to the wrong thing and be like, you're really pretty on the inside, and then it mauls her.
But no, we know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it's a metaphor.
That's the idea of balance, is that
yeah.
It's not black and white, it's how you perceive it, and I like that. I like the weird little tea party. Of course, seeing Iroh there is great.
It's your unbirthday too.
That's all I could think of. It was like, is Iroh throwing a Marion birthday party?
When they went back into the library, both of us just went, oh no.
Oh no, yeah. When she mentioned, it's the great library, and Grandpa Aang told me this, and we were just like, oh no, don't go in there. Oh no, this is a mistake.
And then when you see the owl, that's great. I love that voice.
The last person who was here cut to the skeleton.
That was dark. I mean, it's like,
awesome.
the guy stays there.
That was so
but you think,
awesome.
Like, maybe, you kind of assume the worst, but maybe they made a deal. Maybe it was like, nope, there's just the fucking skeleton. It's like, shit.
Well, that's the thing that I think by upping the ante on this show, but you can get away with that in this show versus the original Avatar. Like, yeah. I loved that scene. I just burst out laughing. I was like,
but
nice.
it still had, again, it felt so much like sort of the first 3 seasons again, with like that great sense of humor about like how the radio works.
False information about little men in a box.
Yeah, and then
the dogs
Dingo. walking away. I mean, it's that sense of humor, but also that sense of like just real imagination, real creativity,
Oh my
real
God,
sort of wonder
and,
and charm. So charming. This
I
world.
forget what the dragon, but the fluffy footer, fluffernutter. I'm calling him fluffernutter.
Fluffy foot, I think was it.
Fluffernutter. What a bitch. Well, asshole.
Yeah, betrayed her.
Yeah. Oh, bastard.
And I like stuff like I like when she returns the whatever that phoenix or dragonbird, whatever that was, returns it to the nest and it all transforms into one. I mean, it's like
that was pretty cool.
It's this strange kind.
Well, it was a metaphor. It was the phoenix. She becomes whole again,
and I.
Then kind of has one of those like Naked Gun 33 1/3 head slapping moments, like like it's like open the portal or I will take her soul. Okay, and I was just like,
yeah. It's on the other hand, on the one hand, it's sort of like I do sort of go, what would I do in that situation? But it is sort of like, okay, so. We haven't seen this yet. Korra messes up everything, and somebody comes.
The problem, I'm like, yeah, I would want to save Jinora, but at the same time, I'm like, you can't trust that guy. I just know he was gonna just screw you. Like, and if you're the only,
he does technically let her go, right? And then doesn't a spirit take her away or something? Or
only because
the evil
he's
spirit
busy trying to kill Korra.
Yeah,
but what kills me is like she gets lucky because the Phoenix drags her out of there. But I'm kind of looking at it as like, well, good job, Phoenix. Why didn't you just grab Jinora? Like when
why didn't you grab Tarlok 2.0 and take him out too?
I am gonna say this. This is still the weak part of the show for me. I mean, he's got Jinora. He's giving her an impossible choice. He's really badass, and when he shows up at the library, he's kind of badass, but I just feel nothing for this. I have no connection with Tarlok.
Well, Tarlok 2.0.
Unalaq.
But that's the problem.
Unalaq,
I mean, we've seen him before, and it's the first one light. Why do we want to see that again?
Well, and part of the problem is, at least Tarlok in the first season was sort of there and established, and he had a steady presence, and then he gets taken out, but he comes back at the end. He's only out for a couple episodes.
And he's given depth. We know what he wants to do. We don't even really know why this guy is helping beat his spirit, which maybe they'll reveal.
Unalaq is in the beginning and vanishes. We have no connection with this guy. It's like, tried to frame the father, this and that. Korra resolves that issue, and then he's just in the background. Like, doing nothing until he just shows up again spontaneously, and I'm just like, I have no connection with this guy. Amon was a way better villain.
No, that would be fine, because Amon disappears too, if they gave him much more presence.
There's
no presence to this character.
Amon.
There's no presence to
he just kind of shows up like, I'm a dick.
He's just kind of generic jerk villain, and
I find Varric more fun to watch.
Obviously.
But I mean, just as a character, I am more interested trying to figure out what Varric's deal is than Unalaq's. At this point, I'm almost at a point where I'm just like, you know what, Vatu's the scarier guy, the scarier spirit, and Varric's way more interesting as a character. I don't even give a crap about Unalaq anymore. As far as I'm concerned, he's just a pawn of Vatu.
Would have made sense if Varric was actually the guy who was bringing back the evil spirit, because you're he's just kind of nutty, and whatever reason he would have, you just kind of
be insane. He's like, I like chaos. I like selling weapons.
He could be like the Joker. I mean, it actually could make sense. Like this other guy, it's he's kind of logical. He has this grand plan, but he's just not that interesting. We don't know what the grand plan is either. So I agree. I think he's a dull villain. But I loved being in the spirit world still. I love the progression of the Korra character. I would have liked to seen something a little bit more come of that climax, but it's still got a few episodes left, and she can redeem herself.
It fascinates me.
I did feel bad. Last thing, I did feel really bad when she says, "I'm sorry," and why is my little girl waking up? And I did.
Oh, that was a great scene. That was chilling.
Yeah, that actually is sort of a chilling scene, and I found okay, that does still work. So it's just sort of following on the heels of
I have a much better grasp of
her
Korra
messing up and being saved.
And here's the thing: I have a much better grasp of Korra as a character now after 3 episodes than I did in all the lead up into this, and even through some of the first season. Which I'm sorry is a problem. I'm like, you were able to do this in 3 episodes and you've been sitting on it this whole time and boring me with, just the back again forward, and I was like kicking desks and,
I've seen much more emotion, I've seen much more intrigue in that character just in that last frame they have of her looking at Tenzin, that one beautifully drawn image of her, just
Why
like
couldn't you do that
terrified
earlier?
and afraid and just looking for an answer and can't find it, and it's like just in a look. And to me, they just have not been captured that throughout. Well, with the exception of the last one and the one before, and obviously this one.
In my opinion, they were dropping hints of that in the first season. I didn't like the way the first season resolved itself, where it gave everything back instantly, but she had terror, she had to work through things, and I felt like
And she had to do that here too. In the spirit world, she
yeah.
didn't have her power, so she had to use logical emotion.
So we're going back to where we were sort of in the first season with what she's working through, but that's part of my problem, though, is I feel like, well, we're nearly done with, or we're somewhere in the last third of the second season, and we're going back to hitting points we already hit in the first season, and it's fun to watch, and I got a better grasp of Korra now, but like, what were we doing for the past?
Yeah, if maybe they had her more in the spirit world in this, and like her like everything that she did in this one, like even though you could sort of argue like, well, yeah, obviously be nice, whatever, but no, I feel that like when you are more nicer to yourself, understanding of others and stuff like that, it affects not only her environment but everyone else.
She went
too.
on
like
an
when
actual
she gets angry, everyone
journey.
when she gets angry, everyone else gets angry too, and it spreads, and I like that.
It does make me realize, and I'm like, maybe somehow they're going to do something in this season or the next that will make me change my mind on this, but the more we're getting closer to getting to the end of, this season or wherever they're going with this, the more I'm realizing that this was backwards. Season 1 should have come after Season 2 or whatever they may be doing with Season 3. I'm not sure how it's working, but it's like, because she's building up this spiritual journey in this season, we've had nothing of Aang this season, hardly anything. Whereas, Aang we had flashbacks of Aang in the first one, she meets Aang at the end. I'm like, this should have been in reverse. They should have done this season first, and then go to Amon, because after you've had this spiritual journey and make all of these connections, how terrifying would it be to lose your avatar power? To feel like you've lost your connection to everything? And
well, to the show's credit, I think because she had such little emotional understanding in the first season, it was a greater, it was more terrifying for her to lose her power, because it's like that was kind of her identity. To her, that's like all she had, and after going through an emotional journey, it's like, well, I can still live on after this, I can,
I guess, but I feel like after all of that journeying in Season 1, we just reverse ourselves back to a base 0 again.
Well, no matter what, they should have done that.
So I'm just like, I feel like you could have started Season 1 off with her at a higher avatar level, and then the real threat is Amon. This guy can take away all bending, sever your connection with your other avatar selves, I would have rewritten Amon so his power was even greater, so you can sever that spiritual connection, or at least the threat is there. Like, you feel like I feel like it would have been a better build-up and something more scary after going through what is this season.
Or why not what we said before, where her powers stay gone? Imagine if her powers stay gone, and then we started this season. Like, maybe she could possibly still control spirits, but even
what
not
if
just on the
Unalaq,
spiritual journey.
What if Unalaq was showing her how to get some of her avatar powers back by doing the spiritual bending?
Yeah.
That would have been a way better twist to get her to follow Unalaq along, because if Tenzin can't show her how to do that,
And it give a reason why she's still frustrated, too, because she has to go through this emotional journey, and the spirit world would help with that. I mean, it's just like,
No, point being, we are back on track now, and the show is really, really good again. But yeah, I do feel like we just blew 6 episodes in the first half of this season getting here, and I'm just like, I don't know what it was for, but I'm totally glad we're back on track, because this episode was awesome. The previous episode was awesome. The 1 hour episode before that was awesome. It's just awesome now.
I think the whole, for 6, 7 episodes before, you could have summed up in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
You did not need.
Well, we forget, everybody's like, somebody was trying to tell me that the pilot, didn't have much going on. I was like, are you kidding? They
I thought it had
crammed
great setup,
so much plot in there that I thought, yeah, you could do that. Get 2 more episodes like that. And instead, we slowed to this crawl.
Yeah, and now it's really picking up again.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see. I want to go back into the spirit world. We know, or at least we're gonna see it because what's her name still in there? The little
Can
girl.
we go back and have another tea party with Iroh?
I want to see my Iroh. That was so heartwarming. He just makes you feel so good.
All right, so
More tea.
oh, that was another thing too. He actually he had tea in his hand. He's like, oh, good thing I made tea.
I actually made some
Yeah,
tea.
I'm just like,
'cause
give
I
me
was
that.
sick, so.
Yeah, just give me that.
It's like, you now have my cold.
I don't care. I fucking needed tea during that scene because I was just like, the way he talks about tea. I think I'm a tea drinker because of this guy. Because I'm watching the first 3 seasons of Avatar, he just talks about so much. I'm like, you know what? This is really fucking good if you get the right one. So, yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.